welcome to Blog Tornado, and today we're going to discuss a little bit more about Bob Lazar's story from a different angle. Rather than judging him being as a pathological liar, let's look at the story from being a true story. So, and what does that mean to us? Well, it's very simple. First of all, I like to say, a lot of us are actually focusing in a wrong direction when we're thinking about Bob Lazar. And most of us has heard his story already millions of times, and he's sounding like a broken record already himself. And there's nothing new in his documentary of Area 51 with Jeremy Corbell. So we already know the story, but most of us, and especially people who just are getting to this story since Joe Rogan interview with Bob Lazar is now getting more and more popular around YouTube, and a lot of people are new to this story. But what's really going on is that too many people are focusing on Bob Lazar. We already know his story. We already know what happened. So now we have to take a step further and understand where is the truth now. He mentioned about those 9 UFOs, and we should focus on that more than focusing on Bob Lazar. So the next step should be, where are those UFOs, and why are the military hiding this truth from everyone? We have rights as well to know where those UFOs are. We're just as curious. And eventually, we're going to go, after those UFOs, like we tried to go after Area 51 recently, and to find out what's inside there. And the curiosity is something that, can be stopped, and that's what's driving this whole truth. And eventually somebody's going to have to answer for this. You can't hide something like that from the world, from the rest of the world. But yet we should be, we should understand something as well, that, and it's sort of a gray area to begin with on top of that. So I believe that military kind of wishes that people would think that this is a made-up story, and since Bob Lazar doesn't have any proof rather than just verbal one, and that's what the problem could be, and the military can hide nice and comfortably behind the topics of UFO and hide their story because there's no evidence. And again, it's such a topic, weird topic to talk about, that just all the truth just gets blurred out, just gets lost. So if his story is true, like I said in the beginning, it could mean a lot of things. First of all, let's just say we have to understand that the U.S. military is now on a completely different level, since if the U.S. scientists got hands on this kind of technology, we have to understand that you can learn a lot from this technology, and they did have a lot of time to do so. And by now, who knows what they know about UFOs, and that the rest of the world just doesn't. So that's why I've said U.S. military is right now could be a very powerful force, and it's no longer on the same level like the rest of the world, since they have such technology in their hands, if the story is true. So that's why I'm saying this story could mean a lot of things right now. Those UFOs, 9 UFOs. So basically, like some people believe that, Earth is center of the universe, but if such technology that is more advanced than us, then why is it more advanced than us? But basically, because when life was spread across the universe, some rocks that carried microbial life has hit different habitable planets in a shorter amount of time than it reached the Earth. So basically, life had more time to evolve, and that's why we see more advanced technology, and basically, and that perhaps aliens also had, at the beginning they had helicopters, airplanes, who knows, but eventually, because of so much time ahead of us, they basically, got to the point, as you can see from the story, how advanced really this race of aliens are. So they had a head start, but so that's basically another question that it can be answered, because that's a living proof that alien life existed way before us. And And then could be for many other reasons those 9 UFOs were left behind, and we also have to consider if the story is true. Could those because basically UFOs are basically vehicles, okay, and for transportation reasons, that's the only use for us that we could, and of course how they operate, but mainly it's for transportation. And why would they be giving us those 9 UFOs? Is there some kind of a catastrophe that we are not aware of that might threaten our existence, and those UFOs will come really handy as some sort of escape pods when the time comes? Were those UFOs left behind because of that? Another perspective to look at if the story is true, and it can mean many things. And like I said, one of them is just such technology being in the hands of U.S. military is quite should be quite alerting to other countries around this world, because anybody that possesses such power, you really have to be you have to take you have to step back, you have to take a step back. You better just stay down and not engage into any kind of confrontation with this kind of power. And what power am I talking about here? Well, basically, as said before, this kind of technology supposedly is capable of bending time, and bending gravity, and bending light. However, in our nature, we're capable of doing a lot of things, and we're capable of getting to the bottom of things pretty quickly, and only if we had some clues. And not that they just left clues for us, but they left 9 UFOs behind that we can study. And by now, within this 30 or so years, I'm sure a lot of scientists probably got to the bottom of how they probably operate. So we have to understand what kind of military power, or what kind of power does military possess right now they have in their hands. And so I think people are concentrating too much on Bob Lazar when they should be more focusing their attention on where those UFOs are at the moment. And that's what the problem is. Okay, Bob Lazar has nothing more to say than what he already said. And now we have to focus on where are those UFOs right now as we speak. What part of the world, where in the world are they, and where did military hide them? And that's what I think should be our next step right now to go after. So possibly Bob Lazar is nothing but a messenger that could possibly be sent by chosen by alien race, and to deliver this message to the world. And and this could all be planned, because anybody that possesses such technology, you must understand that they also know what will happen once that kind of technology is exposed to us, right? What psychological impact will have on us. And they know every single step, and that's something we must not underestimate, how they think. Okay, everything with aliens, most likely it's a deception of some sort. The answer will be in plain sight, but yet you won't be able to hold on to anything. And that's how the aliens want it. They know how to keep the distance, but yet they're telling us something, but yet in a way that it's not quite clear. And that's all pre-orchestrated by the aliens, and we still, some of us, we still cannot catch on to that. They're not just gonna come out straight out and freak out the public, because they know how we react to things out of this world. It will be very shocking for many. It can cause panic around the world. So they know about that, and that's why they're taking it slowly. So they are, like Bob Lazar is saying, the story about this UFO, it's in front of us. The story is in front of us in plain sight. But yes, at the same time, it's hard for us to believe, and because that's our nature, and they know that. And that's why this is like a perfect place for such story to be in, because we can really say it's true or not. So it's kind of debatable, but yet they're telling us exactly what's going on. So we have to assume they know a bit about our nature and how we operate, and that we have that the trust is the problem in this world, and and it's very easy to say such a story, but who's gonna believe it, right? That's why this kind of field of aliens, it's a perfect place to be in. On top of that, because you just don't know the truth. But like I said, if this story was true, then we have to understand, quickly that such power in the hands of U.S. military is on a totally different level, and the rest of the world should be cautious about this, because as you know, it's pretty much light years ahead of anything. Which brings, again, it brings U.S. military on totally different level, and they had many years to study these UFOs. So by now, I'm sure they got a lot of information and knowledge from these UFOs. And so basically, that's pretty much like to discuss about. And yes, hopefully we'll get to the truth eventually. And like I said, we have to shift our focus towards the U.S. military, and kind of like raise awareness here, because the rest of the world just can't sleep after this story was released to the public. And and eventually, whatever happens, the truth will come out sooner or later. And so basically, the bottom line of this whole video is, the moral of the story is, don't f with US. And that's the fact, because they have something in their hands, and it's not a toy. So yeah, and that's pretty much all. So if you like this particular video, please subscribe here at the bottom right corner, or give it a thumbs up, and I will talk to you next time in another video. Peace out.